The recent news of Deshaun Watson's trade requests and the horrific trades made by former head coach and general manager Bill O'Brien, the Texans are in one of the most intriguing spots this offseason. Losing a star quarterback and star wide receiver is very tough, but they are in a spot where they can hit the reset button with a new GM and a new head coach. Trading their star quarterback will give them back some picks to recover from the mess that Bill O'Brien started and try to recover by gathering future assets. Nick Caserio will have a very interesting offseason, trying to maneuver out of negative cap space and successfully starting the rebuild. So let's get into it. We see the Houston Texans sending Deshaun Watson off to the Big Apple, the New York Jets. We just think they have the most to offer. No other team can compete with the number 2 pick, Seattle's first round pick, the Jets' second round pick, the Jets' 4th round pick, the Jets pick next year, their first, and another second round pick. That's just so much. A team can't pass that up. As for the Jets, they're getting a top 5 quarterback in the league. A pretty nice return for all those picks. The Texans will also have to make some cuts to clear some more cap space. Cutting Duke Johnson, Darren Fells, Brian Anger, and some other cap casualties will allow them to reach up to approximately $10 million in cap space. That brings us to free agency. They're going to need a bridge quarterback in between Watson and whatever rookie they choose to draft. We think the perfect guy would be Tyrod Taylor. Think about it. Tyrod Taylor was the starting quarterback for the Browns before Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield looked great this year, and he's going to be the Browns franchise quarterback. This season, he was supposed to be the starter before Justin Herbert came in. Unfortunately, due to a freak accident, Herbert came in earlier than expected. But look at the success he had. What team isn't going to want Tyrod Taylor to be a bridge quarterback? He's perfect for the role. We see him getting around $3 million on a 1-year deal. Another free agent they'll look to bring in is Troy Hill on about a 3-year, $24 million contract. The Texans need some serious cornerback help, and we think he could be the guy. The last person we think they could bring in would be Gerald Everett on a 2-year, $7 million contract. The Rams simply cannot afford him, and it already sounds like he's going to be out. We think the Texans would be a great landing spot, as they're going to have to cut Darren Fells. Gerald Everett has shown flashes of greatness. Maybe he could reach his ceiling in Houston. Obviously, this isn't it. The Texans are going to have to sign depth guys and plenty of other guys to fill out the roster before the year. But I'm not going to sit here and try and bore you with that. So instead, let's move into the fun stuff. The NFL Draft. The Texans now own the number 2 pick. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is going to be gone. I think that's a foregone conclusion. So really the question becomes, what other quarterback do you like the most? For us, we think Zach Wilson is the guy. Many others may say Justin Fields, but quite honestly, he's a little bit of a rough prospect. I think he may be a result of the great situation in Ohio State. We've seen plenty of other Ohio State quarterbacks get hyped up going into the league and then just fail. They just have such a great program. Now that's no disrespect to the prospect, but it's not easy to look past. Look at Dwayne Haskins. He clearly failed in the NFL. He's going to get a second chance with the Steelers, but who knows if that'll work out. Therefore, we think Zach Wilson is the much safer prospect, who also provides a very nice ceiling. He's a perfect modern-day quarterback with loads of potential. He has an ability to extend plays and throw strikes down the field. He's a tremendously accurate quarterback, and that's exactly what the Texans will look for. Justin Fields just ain't it. And if you believe he is it, no disrespect. He's a great prospect. Just a little too rough for us to have the Texans taking him at number 2. Later in the draft with Seattle's pick 23, they're going to have to replace J.J. Watt, and they're going to take Azeez Ojulari, edge rusher out of Georgia. He plays with a reckless abandon and hopefully will be the future pass rusher for the Texans. In the second round, the Texans will look to draft Terence Marshall out of LSU. Early second round pick here with the Jets. We think Terence Marshall has a ton of upside and could be the true number 1 receiver they lack right now. Brandon Cooks is good, but he does struggle to stay on the field. Randall Cobb isn't a number 1 guy. Terence Marshall could be that, as he was this year at LSU. As you go later in the draft, it gets very difficult to predict which players will be there, who the Texans should take, but it's easier to look at positional need. The Texans should look to finish building that O-line that they've been working on for years now. Obviously, it isn't where they want it to be, so taking some rotational guys and maybe even some future starters in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds could prove to be very useful. Also, that secondary, which is one of the worst in the league last year, that should be another positional group where the Texans look to bring in talent. Mid-round guys, take a flyer on them. Maybe they turn into something. Definitely worth the risk. I can't tell you who they're going to draft, but I know the needs of this football team. Even running back. David Johnson's getting up there in age. This is a pretty good running back class, and the Texans should definitely look to invest. Now, this is the part of the video where I tell you this team's future is bright. They could be a playoff team next year. This team has potential. But let's be honest. Rookie quarterback. A below-average defense. Average weapons. A first-year head coach. I mean, I don't know about you, but this doesn't exactly seem like a recipe for the playoffs. Therefore, they're probably not going to make the playoffs. But who knows? Any given Sunday, anything can happen. This young team does have promise. While the defense will still likely need help, the offense isn't terrible if their picks pan out. Now, Texans fans, you have had a few rough months with James Harden, Russell Westbrook, leaving town. Listen, you will get through it. Maybe I pray for you fans that the front office doesn't become a dumpster fire. In Caserio we trust. Well, yeah. That does it. I know it's not a Super Bowl roster or anything, but it was never going to be. That's not the goal of this offseason. The Texans are rebuilding. And fans, I'm sorry, but you gotta embrace that. This gives Texans fans some hope for the future. Some young guys with some young minds. Hey, what do I know? Maybe it'll all work out. That's it for this video. If you really enjoyed, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It's free, takes a second of your time, and it really helps us out a ton. We're looking to grow the channel. We were gone for a minute, but we're back now. So please, subscribe, drop a like, leave a comment, let us know your thoughts. If you disagreed with us, tell us why. Don't just get mad at us. We love having those interactions with you guys. That's what makes YouTube such a great place. That does it for me. We'll see you next time. Peace out.
What we do here is go back.